6-star Unstoppable Colossus enters the game. We have an update on the arena missing units compensation situation, the forums versus Lagacy and the CCP beta, and shock for some players as Guillotine wins the champion buff vote. Ooh yeah, we got a spicy Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Friday.
Hey Rumi, you think you can air out this place a little? Starting to smell like old feta in here. Ugh.
And yeah, as we normally say, hit the like button, subscribe with post notifications on, all that jive turkey. But also, one thing we must do is thank the backers. Thank you very much to those that back the channel on Patreon and as YouTube members. Thank you very much for supporting and keeping me going and doing this as a full-time venture. Also, those that support over on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. Last night, we streamed Call of Duty Warzone and got back-to-back wins. 3 wins on the trot. It was pretty amazing. So make sure to be about for Call of Duty Warzone streams as well as Marvel Contest of Champions streams. And if you've got an Amazon Prime account and want to give a free Twitch sub, you can do. For all these people on screen, they've done that. And as well, those that give tier 1 subs, gifted subs, bits and donations, thank you so much as well to help the channel keep going. But now it's spicy news time. And it does get very spicy because all of a sudden, you just don't realise, and it comes out of nowhere, 6-star Unstoppable Colossus has finally entered into the loyalty store. For a lot of people, the loyalty store is used to buy things like boosts, as well as cores, as well as things that are helpful to you like masteries, and as well taking you through content, especially Alliance Wars and other different things like Alliance Quest. So I'm not really kind of condoning the spend of this when there's other things that mainly matter. But if you're at a point of going like, do you know what, I got a lot of loyalty like Christian has right here, then you'd probably go and be inclined to purchase 2 of the Unstoppable 6-star Colossuses. I myself will be buying 1. And I actually did a poll about this, so let's see the results now. Where I asked the question, 6-star Unstoppable Colossus, will you be getting 1? The answer was yes, go on then for 35.5% against not for 1.6 mil loyalty, 64.5%. 248 people voted on Twitter. I should have done this on the YouTube community tab to get more of an idea, but some people are interested, some are not. And I think as a community and people that have purchased this character, we hope for a buff. We really do, because there's not much on offer for this champion, to be honest. Next up, and let's talk about Summer of Pain. Now, first of all, I just want to say, like, I'm really sad this summer for uncollected players. They've not had anything. If you're uncollected and lower, you've not had anything to do. And I guess this is the narrative that Kabam want to spin, is that they want you uncollected players to make that jump up to Cavalier difficulty to at least have a shot at doing this kind of stuff. For Thronebreakers, there's been the Summer of Pain as well with the Cavaliers, but also there's been the Grandmaster Gauntlet. So there's been things available for players to do. However, though, when it comes to uncollected and lower, you haven't had anything like extra fun to do. I would recommend doing some classics of variants and then try and building your roster and get into Cavalier, because I think that's the narrative Kabam want to say. So they want you to get up to Cavalier so that they can make content for I don't know. But in any case, right, let's get back to Summer of Pain and further clarification on stuff. So each week, 9 weeks this summer, we'll be releasing a new addition to Summer of Pain. These quests will be available also to all summoners who have earned the title of Cavalier. Starting with week 4, we will be introducing special objectives that add an extra level of challenge to each of the quests. These objectives only be available to summoners that have earned the title of Thronebreaker. Okay, that's not good. This means if a Cavalier summoner completes each of the quests and earns the maximum number of points available to them, they will be able to obtain Milestone 6. So that's disappointing. I did not know that until I've just read this thing right here, that Cavalier players will only have a peak that they will be able to go to. That's pretty annoying. But I suppose in some way it's not doom and gloom, and if you are, as a Cavalier player, able to get up to Milestone number 6, you'll have a 6-star Nexus Crystal Selector, but also 25% of a tier 5 class Catalyst. So if you are a Cavalier player that is just now so close to that tier 5 CC fully formed to get you a Thronebreaker title, this could be your time and your shot. It's quite conveniently going to fall after the July 4th deals, so you could look to balance between what you pick up on July 4th if it's good, because Cavalier players got shafted in Cyber Weekend. If you've seen yesterday's video, you know all about that. So what this could mean is chances you as a Cavalier player to get a Thronebreaker titleage. But yeah, it sucks. But this is what Kabam want to do. They want to push the narrative of people want to have chase goals in Marvel Contest of Champions. We talked about chase items yesterday in the video, the July 4th prediction video. So they want you to chase that next thing, and hopefully this will be the time over the summer, by doing this, that you will be able to pick up the Thronebreaker titleage, and then you'll be able to do some of this stuff and go further in things like Summer of Pain and such like. But what are your thoughts on this? If you're a Cavalier player, thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you feel like this is kind of like shortchanging you? Do you think that it's fine? How do you feel about it? Right, Guillotine. Guillotine now is the topic of the next article we got to cover, and wow, okay, did not expect this, but as I said, I see it as an absolute win, as Hulk would say. So look, we had a champion vote. We had the impression that Ant-Man was going to win, but the voting went a different way. Yes, indeed. Everybody seemed to more popularly vote for Guillotine winning the champion vote as the next buff champion. The interesting thing about this is stats and information. I love when there's a big twist, which can be like in my favor and not in my favor. I don't know, maybe I'm just like a complete madman. But I really love the fact of like a really kind of like weird twist to things. And from seeing this back, when was this? April 28th, then what we've had now is astounding. So if you didn't know, there was a sort of like official vote that was done on the forums, which did see a sort of commanding. I say sort of because, well, let's face it, everything changes. 3,766 votes went for Ant-Man being buffed, and then Guillotine was 2,039. Now, yes, this was all about creating two of these champions from the list here to be considered to be buffed. But then there's other elements to consider as well with this. But it gave us an idea that Ant-Man was the more popular champion to be voted. So you kind of think, right, well, okay, what is going to happen when it goes to the arena votes? And if I was to have money down, I would have gone that this would definitely be in support of Ant-Man. But the surprise is that it went for Guillotine, which, look, as I've said, this is an absolute win regardless. Even though I know that there's some people out there would go like, oh, well, she's good in her own right. She's got some really cool kick-ass energies with her. The fact is, she is the poster champion for Marvel Contest of Champions and Kabam. She's the only Kabam original, apart from Aegon. Well, actually, no, she's the only Kabam original that is featured in a further comic book line, which I think it was something like the European Avengers. There was a little story arc in, I think, US Avengers comic book. Something like that. But she's kind of like, she's popular enough. I think that she would be a great character to have in something like a movie or a TV series, if there was something that could be offered for it, which I know Gabriel Vizera has pitched. Either way, getting back to the kind of the fact of in-game, if you pull this champion, it will be buffed. Is Ant-Man definitely got to be on the list to be reworked at a later date? Of course, and I am disappointed about that. But at the same time, having a character like this that could be just built a little bit more for the current meta, and if Kabam could build it in the same way that they build one of their other characters like Aegon, or have it so that you could use this champion in a lot more other places rather than saying, hey, I can create a kick-ass synergy and do an exhibition grind in something like Realm of Legends. Yay. Could I use it in other content apart from variants? Possibly at the moment, but it's like she's not on the same level as the likes of Doctor Doom. So yeah, I'm sad about the Ant-Man situation, but at the same time, if you pick up this champion and she's buffed well, then at least to say you've got something you can use. So please don't be salty. It's a Friday. We should love one another in the community. Or at least try to. Oh, try. Please try. God damn it, will you try? Okay, important story to talk about now, and that is, are CCP members getting an unfair advantage by having the CCP beta? Yes and no. Okay, so let's kind of like put this down to a point of advantage. Do we gain any kind of advantage by having the CCP beta? Well, I've got this CCP beta up at the moment. Am I able to go and do some of the content in Act 7.2 because the content is like finished its Legends run? The answer is no, because the Legends runs have not been done. It does mean that you cannot access this. So when the last time of the Legends runs happen, or the results come in, or whatever it is, one of those two things, you are not able to, as a CCP member, access the content creator beta of some of those Act 7.2 stuff, even to do the likes of training. Like even now, like I've just had access to the what seems to be the final one. So if I just kind of like make sure the team is there, I just click to begin quest to fight, Grandmaster, it comes up with this error. This quest is currently not available, and I'm not able to do it. So therefore, I'm not able to get unfair advantage by using free items to retrain myself on that particular content. Yes, like, could you do that once it's all been out? Oh, undoubtedly. Are most CCP members already kind of planning to do that content, 100% it before that stuff that this becomes available? More than likely. Even when it comes to like doing Act 6 stuff, which I still got stuff to do, I could not bother myself with the time to go back in and redo it. I'd rather do it on stream and grind it out. So that's what I'd do. But it could be said that some of this stuff would be you are training yourself in certain areas by giving yourself revives and stuff that you wouldn't have on the live server. In some ways, I do see players' thoughts on why this would be seen as a sort of unfair advantage. I think the final points on the matter need to be said that technically we all had access to the Act 7.2 beta, didn't we? We all did. We were given the opportunity to go in. So we could have mapped out who we were going to take in each different path. Yes, it's not correct for the entirety of Act 7.2 because we didn't get the entirety to actually test, but we got some of it. So we could have had our own unfair advantage looking at the situation. But if we're looking at unfair advantage for content creators, I suppose, I could go into Abyss of Legends and test myself in some paths. I could have gone into... Well, that's really it. We don't get Grandmaster Gauntlet. We don't get early access to that. We had no access to Summer of Pain early. But, yeah, I mean, there is other content that we could go in now and just, rank up champions that we don't normally have to test in things like Abyss and do it for our own benefit. But at the end of the day, it's not something I personally would do. But there's, I don't know, maybe there would people be out there. However, though, that would be all about, again, showcasing something that would be either an advantage for other players to know to take on the content. So there's always kind of flip between two sides to every story that needs to be considered when looking at this situation. And Command Mike basically follows up with and also clarifying that Act 7 Chapter 2 is not available. I mean, we've proved that until after the completion run. The beta serves a perk of being in the Content Creator Program, a program that requires you to make education and entertaining content for fellow players, which is not easy to do. It takes time. This is a benefit of the program and enables them to make more content for players, in turn giving them more tips and tricks and educating players further. Those kinds of perks are necessary to make an enticing program that encourages more and more summoners to become content creators and in turn create even more content and educate players and gives them more tips on how to beat content, creating a growing and healthy community. Yeah, and I don't think with Lagacy's kind of like testing, it was like all about speed testing. So it's like coming up with the right combinations. It's like saying, well, yes, okay, so you can change this mastery for free to test out something, as well get to a certain point and change and test on certain nodes as to pacing, because again, that's kind of like that's the point with that. But again, it just falls back to two sides to every story. I see what players are saying that have come up with criticism with this, but at the same time, it's like, well, what do really people want? Like, should there be no people recording YouTube content in the world? No streaming, no whatever, to kind of give that perspective of doing tips, tricks, and educational, entertainment content. And maybe people didn't want to see that. It's a very fine line between, like, pissing people off, which, look, no one wants to piss people off, but at the same time, having educational means like this, it's a bit of a catch-22 situation. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is a massive advantage against some of the nodes, because look, at the end of the day, if you were smart enough, if Lagacy had done this before, he probably would have had a list of like who he was taking against the content, because he was in the Act 7.2 beta. And as well, there's enough guides on Act 7.2 out here at the moment that he could take that info plus speed run test. Well, yeah, I don't know. Thoughts in the comment section. I don't know if I see this ridiculously bad, but I definitely understand the points of the criticism. Okay, now on to Summoner Trials compensation. So for a lot of people, they're still waiting for the Summoner Trials unit compensation, which was something that we were told we were going to get. Unfortunately, there has been a delay. Now, I have spoken to a member of Kabam yesterday, and they said that it is going to be next week, realistically next week. So between, say, the 21st of June and the 25th of June, if that's correct, that's the Friday. So it's realistically going to be between those 2 points. It is something that has had more manual labor in order to research the data between the new and the old in order to come to a logical conclusion of what that compensation should look like. That's the response I've had from Kabam when I asked them, so that's when you'll receive it. Is it ideal? Of course it's not, and there's a lot of people that I think that would probably have something to say about that, of when it's going to be. I put something on the forums, and I'm sure that, like, someone said that I spoke to someone about yesterday. Is going to be as next week, 21st, 25th of June, and that one person disagreed. So if you disagree with this, right, I'll make sure Kabam find out who you are, and I'll make sure you're delayed by a month in getting your awards. I don't have that power to do that, but I just want to kind of like have that moment of small, minute power that I can say stuff like that. I can. You're going to be getting your stuff. So next week, guys, unfortunately next week. So it is what it is, but sad. And now on to the final story. As I said in Wednesday's news, there wasn't the info, but now we know the info of arena predictions. So keep grinding. I have gone with, and this is the thing, I don't know where these arenas are going to go, but I'll go with Symbiote Supreme as a 6-star, going for 90 mil. Symbiote Supreme as a 5-star, going for 40 mil. Spider-Gwen 6-star, 70 mil. And the 5-star Spider-Gwen, I'm going with 30 mil. I'm a bit unsure of a lot of these predictions because I don't know how hot these will go, because Symbiote Supreme is a champion that players want, so it could be definitely going for around about that 90 mil mark for the 6-star, but it could drop quite considerably. So yeah, like, you just don't know what's going on with this. Spider-Gwen, I feel kind of comfortable on my predictions for 6 and 5-star, but we'll see what happens with the results on Sunday as to giving a more of an indication on the midweek round 2. But yeah, that's been the predictions. That has indeed been the news. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure to check out some content recently posted up there. That one should be the July 4th predictions video, and that video over there is the 6-star 10 times 10 CEO opening, where I had some amazing luck. So go and check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.